Ken in Santa Barbara, thanks so much for waiting. What do you got?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Hey, I just wanted to, as far as your demonstration, I really disagree with just about everything.
Was everything in this dice demonstration?
Just with the whole meaning of it. You said that it's, because we can't explain it or whatever the case may be. And I'll say it like this. Can you explain to me why is 2 plus 2 equal 4?
Because we define that 2 items are 2 items, and that when you have this many items, we call that 4, and that happens to be 2 and 2. So is that
Well, I mean, where's the... No. The point is can you measure numbers? Can you explain where they came from?
A number is a symbol for actual amount of items, yes. I have 2 jars here.
Uh-huh.
Here they are. Here's
and if we
2.
were in Mexico,
I can demonstrate 2 to you.
Yeah. Well, okay, what about the P and P is like these logical absolutes?
What does any of that have to do with the model where you
Right, why is the model flawed? What's the flaw in the model?
No. I meant as far as the philosophy of it, not the actual.
What's wrong with the philosophy that's demonstrated by the model?
Because you're talking about how we can't.
I'm talking about existent items. Existent items is what this model demonstrates. Now, I'm not talking about symbols or mental concepts. I'm talking about an existent item.
But wasn't your point was to show that that's God or something like that? That's how.
Right. What I'm saying is that if you're trying to say that God is a mental concept like the number 2, I'm fine with that. I believe, in fact, that God does exist as a mental concept. I don't believe he exists in the same way that these dice exist. And I think that if somebody's going to tell me that God exists as an objective reality outside their head, then they need to be able to demonstrate that, or else they're castrating the word exist.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, do you believe in the existence of numbers and...
Numbers are mental concepts that align with quantities that can be demonstrated.
These logical absolutes, do you believe that they even exist then?
They are demonstrable, yes.
The logical absolutes don't exist as entities. They are simply truths.
But they're also demonstrable truths.
Just like...
I mean, this jar is a jar. It's not a dog.
Yeah, it is a jar, and it is one jar. So both the quantity and the essence of what the item is
yeah, and it's not a jar.
Whether or not anybody's around to notice it or not.
Yeah, but these logical absolutes exist outside of our mind, or we can think of them and all this stuff.
They don't exist as a thing. That's what.
Yeah,
I'm
they're not
saying.
part. They're not part of objective reality like an existent dice. If you're saying that you have something that exists and it doesn't manifest, and you're trying to tell me that it is an item like other items exist, then I simply can't accept that. If you have nothing I can measure, I don't know what you're saying existence means. What does existence mean to you?
Well, the same thing with, like I said, the logical absolutes. They still exist, but we cannot. We can't measure them or anything like that. It's still there. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
They are not objective items. What I'm saying is, how do you define existence?
How do I define God?
How do you define existence?
Existence?
Yeah, how do you tell what exists from what doesn't exist? Can you do that?
Well...
Can you? Are you able to tell if something exists or if it doesn't? Or do you walk around in life thinking that you don't know what is and isn't real?
Well, as far as logic goes, I just understand. It's like 2 plus 2 equal 4. I understand that that exists, but I can't see it. I can't make a scientific experiment.
Can you tell if there is a chair in a room?
Yeah, the physical sense. We're talking about the abstract.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about God. People say God exists as an objective being, a existent thing, not a mental...
No, that's not true. That's not true.
It is true. I've talked to people who said it.
They call all the time.
Yes.
Okay, maybe...
Okay, so what is God to you?
Well, he's not physical. He's an absolute disembodied mind.
What is a disembodied mind?
What is a disembodied
How do you measure a disembodied mind?
Well, we can't measure our own mind.
Yes, it happens. Your mind is a function of your brain.
Exactly.
So without a brain, how do you measure...
Take away the brain, and that's what he is. He's the mind.
Without a brain, but a mind is a product of a brain. So where is the brain that's producing this mind?
It doesn't have to. It's the first cause.
Have you ever seen a mind without a brain?
Well, no.
Okay, then why are you saying that there is such a thing?
Because there has to be logically a first cause. When you go back to the very beginning...
Why does there have to be a first cause?
Because the same reason why 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's just the way it is. There has to be logically a first cause.
I don't understand what you're saying and why.
Well, okay, you guys understand logic, right? You accept the logical absolutes. You accept that 2 plus 2 equals 4, and that's just the way it is.
See, the difference here is that I actually know what the logical absolutes are, and 2 plus 2 equals 4 has nothing to do with it. I also happen to understand the first cause arguments and know that it's not something that is just the way it is.
What do you mean? Yes.
What do you mean by first cause?
Well, it's very simple. He is like the logical absolutes, but he's not the same. It's used synonymously, but he's not actually the logical absolute. They're a part of his nature, and it's just in his mind. So
what the hell does that have to do with first cause? Now you're talking about something different. Now you're talking about God.
No, I'm describing him. I'm just describing him.
You can't even measure him. How do you describe him?
How do you know? How can you describe something
We
without
talked about
telling
that.
us how you know it's there?
If it has no attributes, how do you know what it is?
The same reason I know logical absolutes exist. God is the first cause, guys.
But you can demonstrate a logical absolute. This jar is not a dog.
You're just using buzzwords right now. You've used the buzzword first cause, and when asked what it is, you say God is logical absolutes are part of his nature. You're just tossing around buzzwords that make no sense. You haven't formed anything that represents any kind of argument. It's an assertion with some buzzwords followed by a description, and then when questioned as to how you know about it, you just go back to the same old stuff. Pick any one thing, define what the hell it is you're talking about, and maybe we can talk about it.
Okay, what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll just... Oh, great. I'll just do it real fast. You go back to the very beginning, the singularity, it presupposes a creator. And how do we know that?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Well, let me tell you why.
Okay, no, it doesn't. You want to keep doing that for the next 5 minutes? You're saying that the singularity presupposes a creator. And what we're saying is we don't know enough about the singularity to make any kind of statement even remotely like that.
Oh, that's not true. We do have enough information.
No, it's not.
Can I explain to you the evidence then?
Yes, please.
The space-time
and you can
theorem,
get a fucking Nobel Prize for it.
That's right.
The space-time theorem, general relativity, specifically says that all time, matter, and space happened at the Big Bang, and before it was nothing. So obviously
Does it say there was nothing before it? It does not say there was nothing before that.
There's no time. There's no time, matter, or space.
Oh, that's different than nothing.
I never said absolutely nothing.
There's a
difference between nothing and absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
And see, this is a jar full of nothing.
saying
This is a jar full of absolutely nothing, and you're done.
There are shadows around.